Welcome to the Windsor Public Library Junior Detective Club. This is week 3 where it's all about observation. Do you notice small details? It can be very important in detecting. Many crimes are solved just because somebody is a good observer. Sherlock Holmes would notice the smallest detail. It's really important to listen to all the words people say too, because sometimes they trip up when they're lying. Pay attention to teeny tiny details and write everything down. All of this helps you become a really great detective. Observation is key. Are you ready to observe? Really ready? Now you're the witness. What if the police came to you and said, "What happened? What did you see? Can you describe the man?" Think about it for a second. Remember as many details as you can. Now describe the woman as if somebody was going to draw her. Use as many details. Did you say he had red hair? Had tattoos? Was wearing a black shirt? You were right. For the woman, did you say she had brown hair? She wore a mask? She was reading a magazine? If you did, you got the details right. Congratulations. Now, try out this mystery. This week is the case of the disappearing diamonds. Lucy had always loved jewelry. She loved to shop for it, and she especially loved it when it was given to her and she didn't have to spend her money on it. She kept all her shiny treasures in a jewelry box and liked to look at it every day. It made her feel rich to see all that gold and diamonds. Until one day, "Hello, police! I've been robbed! Please, come quickly!" Detective Bookish was assigned to the case. Lucy explained how she thought that the burglar must have broken the window to come in, taken her jewelry, and left through the front door, as it was left slightly open. She was devastated. Detective Bookish examined the crime scene very carefully. In very close detail. He looked inside and outside of Lucy's house. After observing the scene of the crime, Officer Bookish turned to Lucy. "I'm afraid you're under arrest, Miss Lucy, for fraud. And kids, don't smoke." What did Officer Bookish observe to make him arrest Lucy? Did you notice any details? What Officer Bookish saw inside were footprints, and they were the footprints of a lady in high heels. And what he saw outside was that the glass was on the outside of the house, meaning that the window had been broken from the inside, not by somebody breaking in, which means that Lucy lied to the police. When confronted with the evidence, she confessed to everything, admitting she just wanted more money for more jewelry. Officer Bookish showed excellent powers of observation, which is really important in a detective. Take a look at this classroom. I'll give you a second. Now, what did you observe? Think about it. Observation isn't just about what you see, like people and objects. It's also about what you hear, what you smell, and what you can touch. Think back to the classroom now. How many red pencils were there? How many blackboards were there? It's hard to know what to look for until you know what to look for. If somebody says, how many red pencils are in this picture, you can see right away. But if you don't know what you're looking for to remember in the first place, that's what makes it tricky. How can you improve your powers of observation? It's not easy to know. It's just like a skill that you practice, like playing a lot of video games to get good at them, or riding your bike a lot. Just like that, with the power of observation, you practice. The library has some great books, like Spot the Difference Animals, or I Spy Spectacular, or even Usborne Under the Sea Picture Puzzle Book. They all help you practice your powers of observation by making you look at different pictures. Pay attention to small details. Often people only notice the large objects around them. Make sure you pay attention to the little things. As you go, try to look for smaller details. When you go to the park, notice what people are wearing. What languages does it sound like they're speaking? And write everything down on a daily basis. Putting it in writing will help train you to notice things. Be more concrete. Instead of saying a bunch of kids, say 3 boys and 1 girl. This will help you focus on small details. Let's talk about observation and crime scenes now. Suppose you've got a crime scene that you need to investigate. You're going to look very closely at things like the floor and the wall to see if anything's been dropped or spilled, because you don't know what you're looking for, just like in the classroom. You're going to bust out your handy-dandy flashlight and see if you can pick up something even easier. Not too much to see there, right? But what if we try a different angle? What if we get right down to ground level and use our flashlight and move it around? Suddenly I can see something that I didn't see before. Something sparkly and that catches the light. If I move closer, I can see it's not just a piece of dust or a piece of cat hair, but it looks like some kind of jewel. Get out my handy-dandy tweezers from my detective kit and pick it up just in case there's any print or trace elements on it that I don't want to destroy the evidence of. That, my friends, is observation. Thanks for joining me, friends, in week 3 of the Junior Detective Club. I hope you learned something, and the nice thing about powers of observation is that you can practice it wherever you are. Play a little game of I Spy with yourself. See if you can notice little details, and see if when you get home you can write them down and remember them. Being a good witness is part of being a good detective. I hope you join me next week for week 4 and our final week of the Windsor Public Library Junior Detective Club. Keep practicing.